and welcome to the OOH-RAH Report. I am your host, Anthony Keverett, and today we are talking about Monday Night Raw, the first Raw after Legends Night last week, and the show opens up with a small video package of what Randy Orton did last week, where he went around to all the legends he conquered and defeated and basically put them out of the misery and just basically bullied them. So we get that last week, and then immediately after that we get Triple H coming to the ring. And this was announced shortly before the show went on the air because the show, I'm assuming, was supposed to open up with Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre actually contracted COVID. And I wish him all the best. I hope nothing bad happens to him. And he did show up via satellite multiple times throughout the show to push his storyline forward and to really just address the fans and really just say, this COVID is not something to be joked around about, as it isn't. And just basically to tell everybody to stay safe. So I think this also gave WWE a good opportunity to kind of book themselves out of a corner. I think WWE does really well when their back's against the wall and they have to put out a really good show, despite taking everything that they had originally planned and kind of throw it out. I don't know how much of that was on tonight's episode of Raw, on yesterday's episode of Raw, but I do have to say it did feel like it. So we kind of get the Triple H and Orton back and forth again, and then, Triple H wants to stand up for the legends. Orton's like, I kicked the crap out of all your legends, and I might as well kick the crap out of you. So just like we switched the clock back to 2009, and we are getting Orton versus Triple H in the main event tonight. But I was a little pissed at this at first, but to be honest, the way that it ended up, it actually was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So after that, Drew did appear, and he did the whole stay safe message. And then after that, we get our first match, which is Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans. And this is where the bad things from Raw start to creep in a little bit, as we have, this is an okay match, but halfway through, Ric Flair comes out, and you kind of see where this is going, and he costs Charlotte the match against Lacey. And I don't like this. I really don't. I'll be honest. This makes no sense to me. I think people saying this helps push up Lacey, I don't agree. I think this hurts her more, that she can't beat half of the tag team champions on her own, that she needs help from Ric Flair. And I also don't see where this is going with Charlotte, because we've already had this whole storyline multiple times where she doesn't need her father. She doesn't need her father's image, and he's back on television. And they're going to go back and forth with this. I don't see where this is going, to be honest. It bothers me because, Charlotte's so good. And to have her in this predicament with her dad again, I don't get it. I really don't. And to bring out Flair for what? This is the 100th time we've brought him out for this? For something like this? Really? I don't really see where it's going. And I would really like to see Lacey beat Charlotte on and just go on and do something else. Or even Charlotte just do something else. I'm not expecting you to do, go back and go right after Women's Championship. That's what you probably should be doing. But I don't get it with this whole tag team thing. It really is frustrating me because the women's division really needs to be fixed a little bit more. And we get one more women's match later in the night. And that did a good job showing some stuff. But I think it doesn't. It's an overlying problem on Raw at the moment. So after that, we get another match. Jeff Hardy versus Elias for the third time in 3 weeks. And this match, once again, sucked. I get Jeff's, I don't understand the storyline. I was going to try to defend it, and I really want to try to defend it, because I don't want to hate on Raw every week. I really don't. But when you keep putting on shit like this, I can't help but actually just crap on it, because Jeff Hardy versus Elias for the third time in the week sucked. Yes, Jackson Reich, or whatever his name is. Because you don't even know his name. Most fans don't know his name because they don't care enough to pay attention to it. Because it's just the same thing. It's those two beating on Hardy, and that's it. I honestly think this is Jeff Hardy's punishment for his brother going to AEW. That's the only way I could think of this, because the way that they've been treating him since he came back to TV has just been crap. And it just bothers me. I really wish that they would just get on with something else with the storyline and just give Jeff something else to do, or just take him off TV. I think that'd be better than keep doing what he's doing at this point. I would like to see him do something else, anything else. But this is just, I don't know what this is, but this ain't it. This ain't it for him. I can't do that. So then we actually start to get into the better part of Raw. The first hour was a little slow to get through, but once you get to the second and third hour, it actually did pick up a bit more. First off, we have a tag team match between John Morrison and The Miz versus Keith Lee and Sheamus. Great match, even though that there was a little bump in between where the top turnbuckle popped off, which good recovery by the entire crew during commercial break to fix that. A+ for fixing that up. And great match. All four of these guys have really good chemistry together. Miz and Morrison lose. I don't really get what the whole point is having Miz lose again. He is Mr. Money in the Bank, but I guess they're trying to build him up for something down the road. I don't know where he's going to fit in with the Money in the Bank because I can't really think of an opportunity for him to cash that in. Mostly because if the calendar, if the WWE calendar is the same as it was in 2020, then right after Mania is Money in the Bank. So wouldn't that mean that Miz loses it because he didn't cash it in within a year? If they're going that way, cool. But I'm interested to see where they go with the Miz here. And Sheamus and Keith Lee, they are amazing. And they had really good chemistry in this match. And then they get into a little shoving match afterwards. And then they have immediately after, no break, a match between these two. And I could watch these two go for hours. I'm not even kidding. These guys could, if there were fans in attendance, they would do the Fight Forever chant because they just have great chemistry, and I love when those two go at it. And I'm interested to see where this is going, and I think this may lead to a triple threat match at Mania, because there were rumors to reported that it was going to be Drew versus Keith versus Lesnar, and I know Lesnar's not going to get paid to do another Mania with no crowd. And I do think that if you book your cards right, I would really be interested to see Sheamus versus Keith versus Drew. I could see Drew coming out on top, but I think that is the way that you guys should really go with this. And, don't do what you're doing with Drew now. But I do think if that's the way you guys are going, I'd be very interested to see that happen. So right after that, we get another Drew package. Speaking of Drew, he does come up right after. And he basically, all you can boil this down to is he goes, Goldberg, you're next. And I'm upset. I really, really am. I don't like this. I don't like that Goldberg is fighting Drew at the Rumble. I don't like that that's happening. Because I said this in my SmackDown review. Your world title matches on your second biggest show of the year are going to be crap. And I've gotten comments that have said to me, oh, they're not going to do Adam Pearce versus Reigns. And if they don't, then what? You're going to do him versus Owens again? Yes, I get it. That's probably the plan. But I don't understand why. You have so many of these talented performers. You can't find somebody to do a big draw for your Rumble match. Like, I think, personally, if I was doing this, have Roman versus Shinsuke. Have Drew versus, anyone else. You can't, I'm thinking of look at that roster. John Morrison, Miz, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, Elias, all these, even if you want to make him go against Orton and have the match, he was supposed to fight Orton tonight. And the way that you had that match finish, why didn't you have that finish at the Rumble? I don't know. I think, to bring in Goldberg, I get it. People are going to say it's the name value for the Rumble and to get more eyes on the Rumble. People are going to come to the Rumble if you give them a good storyline to care about. And I think this isn't it. Yeah, okay, cool. We're going to see Goldberg again. Yay. For the 5 people who really want that. I was happy to see Goldberg come back in 2017, but I think his time is up. I think, and him putting himself in these predicaments where he kind of shoves Vince and goes, hey, I want this match, and he just gives it to him, frustrates me, and I'm not looking forward to it. But yeah, great. Drew announces he accepts Goldberg's challenge, and we're getting Drew versus Goldberg at the Royal Rumble. Yay. Next up, we have a United States champ. Actually, no, I'm skipping an entire match because I didn't care about this next match. I was going to jump straight to a good match. But no, we have one more shit match to get through. And it's Xavier Woods versus T-Bar of Retribution. This match sucked. T-Bar won. Okay, it was a good match. Dominic Dijakovic, I'm not calling T-Bar, and Xavier Woods can put on a really good match together. They have good chemistry. But, goddamn, excuse my language, but Retribution is fucking trash. And there's no way to go around it. When I saw them first come on the scene, and I heard that they were going to have a few NXT guys come up, and they were going to have them wreak havoc on SmackDown. And I was excited. And I remember earlier in the year after Mania, there was rumors going around that they were going to revive the Nexus brand and have a team of NXT stars become the new quote-unquote new Nexus and do that. I think that's what Retribution is supposed to be. I think the Retribution, they didn't want to do the Nexus thing because, that brand is dead and buried. So they wanted to do something new, so they did Retribution. And I liked what they started off with. And yes, I know this doesn't have much to do with the match in the episode, but I don't really think I'm going to get a lot of time to talk about Retribution, so I'll do it here. It was a promising faction. With Mustafa Ali coming in, I think had a really good idea. But it kind of just fell apart when you gave them shitty names, shitty costumes, and just shitty gimmick. If you wanted to do this, have Dominik Dijakovic and the rest of them. I can't even remember most of them, to be honest with you, because I've just you forget that they were even, they were superstars before this. I think it was D.L. Madden is the other one, I think. I don't even know. I can't even guarantee you saying that. But, and then you put names like Slapjack and T-Bar. Like, what the hell are you doing? You're ruining these guys. You're absolutely ruining them. And Mustafa Ali has such a good character here. And it's such a waste. It's such a waste. Like, if you were going to do the NXT Invaders, do NXT Invaders. But don't put the pomp and circumstance around these guys and make them look like cartoon characters. Because it doesn't look good. Alright, that rant over with that, because Retribution is garbage, and this match was just a match. Nothing came of it. And Kofi wasn't even out there, so I couldn't even say that the entire New Day was out there to help him. No. I think Kofi was one of the guys that got contracted COVID for that. And couldn't make the show. Yeah. And then right after that, you have a really good match. You have Riddle versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. And this match was great. Yeah, it was mostly Lashley beating on Riddle, but the storytelling in this was great. And I love that if you give good storytelling to matches, we care. And this match, I cared. I really did. And Riddle loses. Okay. But I don't think he's done with the Hurt Business. Right after he calls it MVP, they have a Mark II match. Fucking props MVP for having a match in a suit. And he gets beat up again. I don't think he's done with the Hurt Business. I think this feud's gonna keep going. And I'm really happy it is, because these two are good. And I want to see Riddle. I'm rooting for Riddle to win the U.S. title. And I love what they're doing with the Hurt Business. Good match. Good segment. You got one good segment. I have to get through two crap ones to get one good one. So, yeah. So after that, you get another small segment, which leads to another small match. Drew Gulak and AJ Styles talking to Adam Pearce. They're plugging SmackDown for this week. And then AJ Styles is like, I'm in the Rumble. And Gulak's like, I'm going to enter myself in the Rumble. And for some reason, that isn't the same thing. And they kind of play it off where, like, AJ Styles is a name, Gulak is not, so Gulak has to earn it, so then AJ puts his spot on the line for the Rumble, and I'm just like, alright. They have a match, AJ wins with help from big bodyguard man. I think his name is Almost, or I'm going to call him Almost, so his name's Almost. And he just scares Gulak, and that's about it. Good match, kind of nothing, just plug in the Rumble, really. That's what really these last two matches before the main event even do, is plug the Rumble, because next is a tag match between Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, and Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler. Yeah, that's all you need to know is these four are going to be in the Rumble, and Shayna looks like a favorite. I think if they're going to build up a star from each show to win the Rumble this year, my money on SmackDown is Bianca Belair, and my money on Raw is Shayna Baszler. I think they were in the Final Four last year. Yeah, they look good. It should be a very fun Rumble to watch. The Rumble matches themselves I'm very excited for. The pay-per-view itself, not so much. And then you get to your main event. Triple H and Randy Orton. This is even a match. It's just a fight. You get a really rough and tumble fight out of these two, which I like. I'm kind of happy it wasn't just a regular marquee match. And I think one of the best parts of this is Triple H's entrance, where he just completely whiffs on the spitting the water. He doesn't even do it he doesn't do it like over the rope. He does it like when he is in the entrance ramp, and he just spits all over himself. It's hilarious. So then Orton comes out. They have a nice brawl. They start beating each other up. And then in the ring, Randy's like recuperating. Triple H has the sledgehammer. And then the lights in the Thunderdome start to go out. And I was excited to see this because we haven't seen The Fiend since TLC. We haven't seen Alexa Bliss in 2 weeks. And I love what they do with The Fiend. And I think he's such a good character. I've said that many times before, and this was no exception. Triple H's sledgehammer catches fire. And it goes out. And then he's gone. And Randy stands there with the Funhouse theme being distorted all around. And then Alexa appears. She puts her hand out. And it says, I believe it says burn on the front. And she lets a fireball on his eyes and Randy's blinded and we fade to black. That is how you end a show. This episode of Raw was not bad. I think the last few weeks I've been really blunt and angry with Raw. And I still am. I think the show was not good by any means. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was somewhere in the middle. You had all the matches were good, and there were some good things about the Keith Lee stuff and Sheamus, good. The main event, good. Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle for the United States Championship, great. But there was also a lot of in a 3-hour show, maybe about an hour was good. The rest was kind of just there. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Monday Night Raw. We are 2 weeks away, I believe 2 to 3 weeks away from the Royal Rumble. Do you think they're doing a good job setting up all these matches and all these and the next pay-per-view? Are you excited to see The Fiend do what he has to do against Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. They do go a long way. And I will see you next time here on the OOH-RAH.